This is hard. I've been waiting since mid-July, and it said October when I reserved it, and today is the last day of October. Are you experiencing this same phenomenon? Tell me how you got through it. Am I going to get it? Is it going to show up? August, September, October, half of July, and I've got probably 2 more weeks of waiting left. I've wanted an electric car since the Roadster. Top Gear hated it. I remember that so vividly. Top Gear hated the Tesla Roadster. They said it broke and caught on fire.
Thin at one end, thinning at the other, and then sort of with a big fat bit in the middle.
I understand that Top Gear is a entertainment product more than really consumer advice. If they were doing consumer advice, they wouldn't show you how a $180,000 Jaguar can beat a $40,000 Prius at 100 miles an hour in gas mileage. It has absolutely no merit in the real world at all. The person who owns that Prius and the person who owns that Jaguar will never speak to each other in reality. But my reality now is that 10 years of waiting is finally down to the last 2 weeks. Have you been where I am now? The first minute I get when I'm done with my day, I check my Tesla account. There's nothing there. Just a reservation number and no VIN. The first thing that happens is that the reservation number turns into a VIN number.
2 weeks later.
I have a VIN number now. I've made my final payment. And just some learning experiences. At some point, if you order a vehicle, someone usually reaches out to you. Use the number in their email, call them, because they can definitely help you. And one recommendation, say that you're going to pay cash until you get a VIN number. At that point, fill out the loan stuff. Now, is that hard to do? Oh yeah. Because you're going to want to check all the boxes on your Tesla account to get as close to delivery as possible. I had to go through the loan application process 2 different times. I got one bank the first time and I got another bank the second time. Now my interest rate didn't change, but that way you have all your circumstances in order right when you need to, right before the car comes. You have a 3-day window to pick up the car. Now I have a very demanding job and that's going to make it tough, but they were able to just kind of let it slide that I'll be a little bit late for work on the day I pick up the car. Understand that after 5 days or so of not picking up the car, it's not your car anymore and they'll sell it to someone else. Don't let that happen to you. Make sure that you've got everything set up for your delivery date, whatever time off you need to hold back on in the meantime. But weekends and early mornings and late nights don't seem to really be available when it comes to a pickup. We changed our insurance. I won't say which companies because it could vary for you. Tell me your story in the comments. Let me know what company you went with and why as far as insurance. We don't have Tesla insurance in West Virginia, but what we did do was save a ton of money by switching insurance, almost 5 times the amount of money. So shop around with your insurance. Obviously, all insurances are going to vary, but based on your age demographics and your driving history and everything else that's happened in your life and credit, insurance sucks, but you have to have it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please click the like. It would mean so much to me. I have put a lot of effort into these videos. I got to talk to a couple folks at the Supercharger, and where I'm from, the people at the Supercharger are not fellow Tesla owners. They are people who maybe have never seen one or never spoke to somebody who owned one. So some of the things that I was talking about were how much it's worth after you get it, how cheap the electricity is, how you can change modes so you can drive more safely, full self-driving, we talked about that, how to charge it, how you set up a supercharger, which is super easy, barely an inconvenience, in fact. Coal's a big deal here in West Virginia, and this vehicle happens to run on coal and natural gas because our power is kind of split between the two around here. The software, the over-the-air updates, they had no idea about that. The new factories, we spoke about that. Speed, we talked about speed, the 0 to 60, and just how blazingly fast it is. They talked about the color. They said they like the white, and they said, why do we always see white Teslas? I said, because the white is free. You know, the car has 160 miles on it, but I already got to talk to somebody about it. And the online buying process, they didn't understand that at all. It did take us about 15 minutes to purchase the vehicle, which was about 10 minutes longer than it took at Rockville. But Rockville, we felt rushed. In Pennsylvania, you sign the papers. In Maryland, you click to accept. So that's pretty much the difference there. And then they print a temporary plate on site for you. You get the documentation in the mail by FedEx like 7-8 days later. You can take it to the DMV within that time period of your temporary plate and get registered. In my state, you will have to pay the taxes because they have not been applied at the point of sale. But other than that, I just wanted to say that all of the work that I've done in the last 5 years or so, the extra principal payments that I made, the scrape and buy, the antique Firebird that we sold, the anxiety of waiting to get the car, all worth it. I've done a full once over of this car, and I've also now detailed it completely because when I came back from Wexford, it had road dirt and bugs on it, and so I got rid of all that. There is not a flaw on this car. The build quality on this car is 100%. There are no gaps. The panel gaps are all uniform. They all look the same. And I mean, it just, now if you can tell, I'm sure you probably see that in the camera, that the white on the bumper looks different than the white on the car. It's a little more noticeable on the camera than it is in real life, but it is noticeable. But no panel gaps, so they've really improved that. The build quality is absolutely 100% on this one. There's no cabin noise on this one, no shakes, no rattles. I've hit every button. The experience of driving this vehicle is so much more than you expect. Worth every minute of waiting, worth all the anxiety, worth all the money, worth all the future payments. But there she is, 2021 Tesla Model Y, July to November. We made it, and here it is. Okay, so you want to reserve a Tesla. First, go to the website, check the configurations, and make sure you're okay with the delivery date, because the configuration you get, every button you potentially click, could affect when you get the car. That's the first thing to know. Second, while you're waiting, after you give them the money, which is non-refundable now, $250, get level 2 charging at home. You need to have level 2 charging at home for your own convenience. Yes, you may have a short commute, but people change jobs. Get level 2 at home if you're going to get a Tesla. If you get a long-range vehicle or up, you get standard floor mats. If you don't like standard floor mats, get the Tesla floor mats or get WeatherTech. Get a screen protector. I suggest the Spigen, link in the description. Be ready to apply for financing and understand how that will affect your credit. Shop for insurance. You can save a lot of money by switching. Some companies don't like Tesla. Some companies don't like you specifically in a Tesla. Get a garage door opener remote if you have a garage, because the garage door opener accessory on a Tesla is a service appointment later, and also it's $300. I just bought one for $12. Also, if you are in one of the states that doesn't sell Teslas, there's a big list. You'll know because you'll have to have the insurance when you go in there for that specific car. That also means you have to pay the taxes at the DMV later, so you're not going to be financing your taxes. Save up for that. Put money aside, knowing that the DMV will be a hefty trip. In my state, registering an EV is significantly more expensive on top of the plates and the taxes. So be ready to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 at the DMV. Experiences may vary, obviously. This is very exciting for me to have this vehicle because it is the end of a long road of paperwork, documentation, and musical chairs with vehicles. I sold the Clarity, I sold the Civic, I paid off the van, I bought the Model 3, I bought a RAV4 as a beater vehicle in case we don't want to get the Teslas dirty. I sold the van, I bought the Model Y. All of this has been insurance changes and registration changes and turning plates in and making trips to the DMV to tell them we don't own the cars anymore. And I'm so glad it's over. We've got the ones we wanted. It's so nice. Okay, so there you have it. The buying process for the Model Y. Please ask any questions that you may have in the comments. Also, let me know how your experience was and what may differ in your state and other areas of the country and the world. Thank you so much for watching. Liking the video if you learned something would mean a lot to me, and subscribe for more on the Tesla Model Y and Model 3. I appreciate you sticking with me till the end of the video. Have a great rest of your day.